So Sarah, we're actually then called to worship a true God rather than the false kind, such as sports and celebs and stuff.
It's a natural yearning inside us. We're born to worship.
Okay.
And whenever you place anything above God, it becomes worship. So when you start placing sports above God or sports people and you start just idolising them and you've got to watch them all the time, it becomes worship.
So it's not an admiration of skill, it's this actual fanaticism and worship of them.
Yes.
So why is that, Neil? Is there some kind of void in humanity?
Well, there is. I mean, worship is really just the giving of our heart over to something, and we naturally want to do that. You know, people worship all sorts of things, but it actually fills a void that's inside of us, because we're created for God to have His place within inside our heart. And so, yeah, that's the way it really is. And you know, we could look at passages like Romans 1:16, which says, you know, here the Apostle Paul saying he's not ashamed of the gospel. Why?
Would you like to look at that?
Yeah, absolutely. What Paul is actually saying is that he's not ashamed of the gospel because it's the power of God for salvation of everyone who believes. And so here, it's this power that comes in and transforms our hearts and makes us want to give that response back to Him. But he says the wrath of God is revealed against all the ungodliness and unrighteousness of our age because, and here's the key thing, because they refuse to worship and acknowledge the Creator, even though His creative work can clearly be seen. So they ignore the facts.
They ignore the facts.
Yeah, Warwick had to have his spiritual life realigned, but most people just, you know, who are atheists just ignore the facts. They don't see the truth. No.
And so, therefore, it's a responsibility of those who have seen it to share that with others, which is what the gentlemen were doing that we interviewed earlier.
And that's why the first angel's message is the good news to all the world.
So just share with us, Sarah Jane, again, this point, because we've just got seconds left, from Revelation 14:12. What is the crucial point in this central chapter of Revelation?
Well, it actually says in this situation, God's holy people who obey His commandments and keep their faith in Jesus need endurance. So it's about keeping your faith and keeping God's commandments.
And making Him central to your life.
Yeah.